I am someone who has a difficult time fully understanding something unless I can clearly see how it applies to my life and why it's important. And this is most apparent by the fact that I consider myself to be ambitious, but I struggle to balance being dedicated to my goals and also living a spiritual life. I've read the lives of some Orthodox monks and nuns, and they truly pray unceasingly. Like, they're praying all day long, and even they are still worried about their salvation. I want to be dedicated and put in work towards my goals. I want to be successful, if I'm being honest, but it feels like I can't try to really get good at my craft or try to be ambitious about my goals while also living a good, healthy spiritual life. I thought this until I read the life and accounts of a contemporary Orthodox saint. I love this saint. He holds a very special place in my heart. Saint Paisios. There's this one story I want to share with you. On April 20th, 1948, he was called to serve his country. During his time being a soldier in Greece, he loved people to the point of self-sacrifice. He willingly served their shifts and in general worked very hard. For example, when someone wanted to go on leave, Arsenios, St. Paisios, would gladly fill in for him. A lot of people took advantage of his goodwill thinking that he was a fool, but he found joy in the sacrifices he made and accepted them as opportunities for solitude and prayer. What is it with that fellow? His commander would wonder. He never asks for a break. St. Paisios had an attitude of excellence, and not even just excellence, but going above and beyond in every aspect of his life, not just when he was a monk, but also when he worked in the military, also when he was a carpenter. And the word that you'll find when reading about St. Paisios, I believe it's fair to say that he popularized this word a little bit more in contemporary contexts, is that you would hear him use the word philotimo. The word literally translates to love of honor. Philo being love, or love of, timo being honor. Sure, okay, love of honor, but what does that mean? So I asked this retired Orthodox priest who goes to my parish. I asked him to kind of explain to me what philotimo was and how it practically applied to my life. And being a retired priest, he has so much wisdom, and he talks from a place of true humility. He did explain to me that there are a couple uses of this word philotimo. It can get across different concepts and different topics. I asked him, since in this book that I was reading it talks about how St. Paisios did any labor with philotimo, what that meant. And he translated the love of honor, but then he went further and he was like, it's love of goodness. It's choosing the good. It's choosing to act with integrity in the workplace and in all that you do, going above and beyond. This helped color in the edges of what I thought this word meant a little bit. I was like, okay, so I can kind of see how this applies to me. So I'm in the workplace and there's a chance for me to act with integrity, or if there's a chance for me to raise someone else up. I do that out of love for the good. But he said this line, which really made it click. I should do everything I'm doing in my work as if God were the recipient, because he kind of is. That's how St. Paisios literally describes it. Philotimo, according to the elder, is goodness reverently distilled, the love of humble people cleaned and polished until it shines. Their hearts are full of gratitude towards God and their fellow man, and because they are spiritually sensitive, they try to repay even the smallest good they receive. Philotimo is whatever is done above and beyond duty and obligation without being requested and out of selfless love. This has many different applications, but to my understanding, philotimo is this idea of seeking the good, choosing the good in every thought and circumstance and action you take in the workplace. We should do the right thing, not legalistically or to get something out of it, but out of love for God. Let us sacrifice ourselves for others. Retired priest that I talked to really said it in the most digestible manner, the most understandable manner for me. It's pursuing excellence in your work, not for selfish gain, but to have integrity and to bless those around you out of selfless love, and to do everything that you're doing in the position that the Lord has put you in, as if God were the recipient of your work. So that really helped fill it in, because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I want to do YouTube. Like, how do I make videos with philotimo? And it's with that context. So in that understanding, it brings a new light to being dedicated to your vocation. Of course, the point is to never work strictly for money or status. Those things most definitely leave you empty, and working for those things is not the job of the Christian, as Daniel G. Opperwall points out in his book, A Layman in the Desert. Highly recommend. His book is essentially how to apply the principles of monks and nuns to our lives in the world, in our relationships, and in our work. Both books that I'm talking about, book of St. Paisios the Athonite by Higher Monk Isaac, and A Layman in the Desert will be in the description if you want to check them out. Would highly recommend them. They both changed my life. But you can avoid working for the things that leave us empty by doing your work with philotimo. At least this is kind of my novice, extremely new understanding of this concept. Do not take anything I say as dogma. I do not want to be a teacher. I just want to document what I read about the life of St. Paisios and this conversation I had with this retired priest that brought so much clarity and hope and understanding. I am a catechumen. I am in no place to tell you how to live your spiritual life. Please understand that. But the pursuit of excellence is a Christian virtue. Many other people have talked about this. I think where it was introduced to me is Boethius, who talks about how all of the virtues are inextricably linked. And it makes sense in an Orthodox paradigm where we believe goodness is an energy of God. And so in the same way, when I kiss my girlfriend, or when I hug my mom, or when I help an old lady across the street, those are all loving actions, but they're all participating in love, participating in the same love, that if I do a good action over here, and then I pursue excellence and goodness in my work with philotimo, I'm participating in the same good, and I'm participating in God. It's this metaphysical idea that if I am partaking in the virtues, I am participating in God. I don't want to give an excuse for people who are like grind set workaholics to be like, there we go, I can go back to working 12 hours a day. Fitness or health, a sport you play, or a hobby you have, or books that you read, in the same way that none of that should ever take priority over your spiritual life, take priority over prayer and living the life of a Christian. Your work shouldn't do that either. Your work is not the ends. Your work is an opportunity to grow in virtue. That's what I'm trying to get across. That you can pursue excellence in your work, not feel like you're wasting time because work and the spiritual life are somehow in two separate worlds. They're not. And the Lord has permitted you to be in the vocation you're in. And so we want to grow in virtue in all of our dedicated efforts in our vocation. Grow in philotimo. And whatever you do in word or deed, do all in the name of Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. I hope this makes sense, and thank you for watching.